So this is the bosque crew that's here on this particular stretch of land that the manager is working on, and all this whole bosque down here, they do a lot of work out here. You know, with this fire that came through, all of this deadened down wood that's here, they get it all gathered up. A lot of it they're using for the biochar project. They're on constant management of this stretch of land, and so they've got equipment down here, and so he's going to go around and get the forks attached to that so we can get the hay off the trailer, and we can start getting bales set in place. Go ahead. Hey, Ride. So he's bringing that one bale right there. That's our first bale that we're gonna set. I'm gonna get in front of him, put some seed down, just where it's gonna be sitting in place. And what a deal, huh? Woo!
Question.
Yeah.
Preferred direction?
I don't. We'll put them all different directions.
Okay.
No big deal.
So I'll just set it down right there.
Perfect. First bale in place. Okay, things are happening fast out here. I don't want to take up too much of his time, so I didn't want to stop him and put the seeds down. So we're gonna have one that doesn't have seeds right underneath that little spot, which is no big deal. To get another bale over there, and so I need to put some seeds down so that when he puts his that bale down, we've got some under it. I'll wait and I'll come back before the goats come in. Then we'll spread seed around the bales. That way the goats can push that in. But for this case, I just want a little bit right underneath the main body, the centralized spot. I don't know how that's going to work because that'll be probably our thickest area, but we'll do it. Okay. I only got the alkali saccatone underneath that one, so he's ahead of me. He's going fast. One more. Got no real ratio that I'm doing right here. I've never spread wild seed like this, so I'm just putting a little bit right, again, right underneath. I don't think is going to be that big a deal. Maybe down the line, maybe a year or two down the line, it sprouts. But I think there's going to be probably like a 10-inch layer of hay on top of this. So I don't think it'll have much of a chance, but it's a very small area, so I'm not worried about that. That was the just the shorter alkali saccatone. And this is the giant saccatone. Okay, I ran into where I'm gonna have to make kind of a game time decision here. I was going to have 3 different types of hay on the project. So my round bales are gonna be sorghum. The big 12 to 1400 pound bales are all Sudan. And then I had a third supplier that I was gonna get the little smaller bales, the 3x3x8s that are weighing around 800 pounds. Those were going to be a combination of alfalfa Sudan mix, which I really wanted. I thought that'd be really great, just so I could try all the different ones. I didn't want that Sudan alfalfa mix. I thought that would have been a good mix, good for the goats, and something good to try out here is just a little bit different. You know, there's a lot more sugar content in that alfalfa, you know, just different makeup. So maybe we would have found something out different. But I've been trying to be in contact with this particular supplier. I've never worked with him before. We just never could catch up with each other. So it wasn't until today that I finally got an email back from him, and he said he had sold all those bales, so they weren't available anymore. So the show must go on, right? And I really don't have the time to go out and find another supplier to get those particular bales. So we're just gonna go with the rounds as sorghum, the big squares as Sudan, and that's gonna be the new plan now. So I think that's not a big deal. So that's the plan now. So we're going down here to section 8, and remember I told you section 8 is kind of that in case of weather kind of thing. It's got a lot of cover. Because our project is behind schedule by like 3 weeks because it took a while to get that fence up, we're only going to put 2 bales in here, and this may, we may not even get into this at all, and then we may end up taking the bales back. We'll see. Get some of the giant. Oh, this is just the alkaline. This is shorter stuff. So the difference on this one is we're going to tip this one on end. Well, he just did it. Okay, perfect. That'll work. You probably saw that when he tipped it on end. It didn't go anywhere near where I put those seeds down. I think that's fine. Again, he's got a lot of other work to do, so I'm not going to get too picky about it. I don't think it's that big a deal right where it is. I think the most important thing is when the goats are here, that I go and spread around it before they get in, and they push it all in the soil. I'll probably just so that it doesn't blow away and the birds don't get it. Look what I'm going to do. I'm just going to get it in there. I've got plenty of extra seed. I made sure that I bought way more than I needed, and so I don't think it's a big deal. Reason I'm putting these on end as opposed to those over there, they were on what I call on the round. So there's a lot of different trains of thought is where it should be on the round or it should be on end like this. And that's really about the distribution once the goats or cattle, whatever, and the sheep are eating on bales during bale grazing, is how it gets spread out. And that's just something I want to see. I want to just see how that works. So we've got that one's on rounds, these are on end, and then I've got one just in this next section over. We're going to actually roll them out all the way just to see, maybe one works better than the other. If I feel like we have enough time, then I'll maybe bring a couple more at a different time. But for now, I think 2 is going to be all that we need. This will be an emergency pen if we get bad weather, and then I might just put them in here for a couple days. Now, since we're behind, we're right up to the deadline when those goats start having babies, and so I really don't want them having babies out here. I think it'd be fine. It's just more management for me. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can be smarter on this. I'll find out where he's gonna set it, then I'll put my seeds there. All right, that'll work. We got 2 on end in here. I had set it up to have 4 in here. And I decided we were running behind on schedule. I was only gonna do 2. I was gonna put 1 here and 1 over there. But if you look, proximity where we're starting section 1, which is, I think it's right here. And it's not very far away from where I would have put these bales. Because we're on the GPS collars, when they're done over there, I don't want them thinking they can just come over here. This would be a lot more like enticing. So I've kind of situated these bales so they're backing away behind some of these big deadfalls. So maybe the goats don't think, oh, we got to just jump over there and eat that. Hopefully though, the collars keep them from doing that, which they've worked great so far. So there you go, we'll go from there. All right, in this section, we're gonna set them down and then we're gonna roll them. I'm not gonna roll them out right now because there's no need. I don't want the wind to blow it away. It'll be a while before they get into this pen. So I'm gonna have them just set them in place. I don't even need to worry about the seed on this one. So he'll set them in place, and later on when the goats get to this section, they'll roll them out. So we're gonna put it, just like that, we're gonna set it down. Right here. So you might want to back up and come in a little bit different angle. Just come straight on right here. Perfect. That'll work. Great. So when it comes time, we'll roll this bale from here, and it'll roll out towards that other post that's down there. And if it's too far, then we'll just come down the side of it. Got Nick and Alex are here. They just dropped off goats in a backyard somewhere. We have one more of these water tanks that is up on the levee, way over there, behind that tree. And that's the last one that needs to come in. It needs to go to section 8. So that's what they're going to be working on right now. So these bales are wrapped in a certain way to where they unroll in a certain way. And so that's what, it was opposite of the other one. So he's going to go.
Going that way?
Yeah, go ahead and back that way and then we'll set it. Yeah, that'll work. Here's an example where I've got to adjust a little bit. I didn't know where they were going to put this barbed wire fence several weeks ago when I was setting everything up. I actually thought it was going to be over that way about 20 feet, the way that they had cleared stuff. So they've moved it, or at least where I thought it was going to be. It's here, which is no big deal. I just have to make sure that I push everything far enough away that with those collars, the GPS drift doesn't get involved or get mixed up in that to where the goats can't get up to all of it and eat because they're getting tones or electric shocks because they've gotten too close to the barrier. This is going to be the boundary, but with the GPS drift, it might drift in 15 feet or so. So I'm going to have to put the bale in a little different spot than I originally was.
Hard to tell.
Okay, I don't love that spot, but I'm just kind of particular that way. I think it'll be fine. Theoretically, I've got a few weeks before the goats are in this pen, and I can adjust it. We can move some stuff around by hand. Those things we can move them a little bit. So I'll analyze that at a different time. It's no big deal for it to sit there. I'm not worried about the seeds because I didn't put them out on this because we're going to roll these. So it can hang out there for a little while. This one is the one that has this road in it, and I really do want to just roll a bale down this road. This is a more compacted area. I don't know what it's going to do because they've been driving this quite a bit, and I don't know if it's going to continue to be a driving area, but I'm going to at least put the bale to where we can roll it out on the side. They'll still be able to get around it if they have to drive through here, but I want to see what it does on an actual road. I mean, this isn't a true road in the sense. Been driving through here for a couple months. Very sandy soils, so it's not really compacted, but much more compacted than some of these other areas. So I'm just going to set one here later on, especially, like I said, we got several weeks before the goats are in this area. We'll move it around and adjust it then. It's gonna roll. Let's see. Great. All right, so what Abby is doing here is establishing our GPS boundaries. She just has a collar so that we can get these boundaries established before we get the goats and before we get Gus down here. With her phone, she's setting up the boundary in the No Fence app, and then she's got the collar in her hand, and she physically now is going to be trying to find the boundary, and you can see she's just holding it by the silicone strap, not by the chain. No shocking.
Thank you. That work?
So we can hear it. Nice. I think that works great. Try it again. All right, in this particular area, section 1, we're doing the 2 big bales. We're going to break them up into quarters. And so I already know where those are going to go. We're going to kind of do that by hand just so it's easier for us from a getting it where I want to be standpoint. Be easier to use the tractor, but in this particular deal, we're going to do it by hand. He's going to bring the 2 big bales over, and then we'll split them up ourselves. So that means I'm going to go ahead and just go around and set my seat out before he gets here. That way I don't miss it this time. Well, that's it. We are finally ready to bring goats out here. We got all the bales set. A little bit disappointed that we didn't get that other type of hay, the alfalfa Sudan mix. But that is what it is. So regardless, we've got our bales out there. You can see them. It got really windy out there, so I was going to do a few more things, try to get some more pictures and video and even some drone footage, but the wind is just howling out there. So we're going to call it a day, but the original plan was to bring goats today, but Lucas had to go to the doctor and things we have another job that we just took goats to backyard this morning. Nick and Alex did that, so things got a little wacky today, and no big deal. I think we're fine. So bales are all set in place. I think Monday, Garrett and I will bring, today is Wednesday. I'm going out of town, so Garrett and I will bring the goats and Gus on Monday and get them situated. Monday will be a big day for us because we're doing this project, getting the goats down here, doing some things. And then we're going to be also taking hay bales up to the vineyard over at Santa Ana, where we're doing another bale grazing project. We'll see. I might decide we bump that a day and just concentrate on this since we are bringing the goats. And I want to make sure that Gus spends plenty of time getting his GPS boundary figured out. Hey, good day. About ready to get this project going. Like I said, we're about 3 weeks late to get started on it, which is it's gonna put us into a little bit of a bind at the end, since our official kitting date starts on May 1st. This project was supposed to be finished about April 15th. If we're gonna do all 8 weeks of it, it takes us right into May. So, like I said before, we'd be okay, I think, kitting out here, but I'd rather go ahead and just get them home. We'll finish the project. I like to have good start and stop dates on things, so we'll probably pull them out of here today I think is the 25th, February 25th. So I think we'll pull the goats out somewhere around April 20th, I think is what it's going to end up being. Depends on the situation at the time. So there we go. Almost time to get started. I'm excited. It's going to be the goat.